and Brittany. Or even worse if they, like, rhymed, you know? It's like, no, you gotta name one, like, Allison, and the other one, like, Dominique or something like that.
Yeah, but the parents want to be so cute about it and be like, look, they're like the same person, basically. But then it just becomes like a hell for them.
But then everyone ends up hating your the annoyance of the kids, and then the kids end up hating you because they're like, did you seriously have to name us, you know, Allison and Amy, or, I mean, I'm sure there's even worse ones. Like, if there was boys, it'd be like Brayden and Caden or something like that.
Man, I'm trying so hard to remember their two names, I just don't remember. But I swear it was like Amanda and Mandy or something like that. Like that type of, like, duality of names.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, get up!
Luckily, her refresh time is ridiculous.
Yeah, you just have to wait for her to do... Where is she?
Okay.
Oh no!
I was special! You're worthless! Nothing! Just a freak with no friends!
By the way, I just want to say that this is the exact same fight that they do in RE7, where she's just standing there and does air bursts. So even this fight is recycled content.
You're worthless!
I also want to say that if your special power can be blocked by, like,
Yeah, just
hiding behind a wood panel, it's not a very good special power, I gotta be honest with you.
It's like you just stand behind like a dresser that's not even like
right.
bolted to the ground.
Right. It'd be different if it was like this huge metal steel beam. It's like, no, you were just behind a railing, a wooden railing on stairs, and it's like, oh man, like this railing, is my mortal enemy. Whee!
But I will never let you have what you want!
What, Ethan? Dad coon.
Don't give up, Rose. Find that crystal.
Michael.
I gotta say, Ethan's life is pretty horrible. His wife is lied to him and worked for this shady organization, and then he goes and saves her, and what he gets is that he dies and then becomes Mold Man, and then he has to relocate to Europe because he's supervised by Chris and the BSAA or whatever.
Who also lied to him.
And then he has to go through the entire village thing and confront Mother Miranda.
Get his hand cut off.
Get his
fingers cut off.
Get his leg cut off, and then he ultimately dies, and then he becomes, like, part of the Megamycete for the next 20 years. It's like, what a horrible life.
And all he had to do was not go to Louisiana and try to find his wife who was lying to him. Although he didn't.
His wife that sucks.
Realize, yeah. That was one of the big story things of 7 where I was like, I understand in the beginning she was, like, overtaken by the Megamycete and whatever, the mold. I get it. But, like, she just sucked anyway?
She did that last ditch like call to be like, I love you, Ethan, don't come for me. It's like, what were you expecting? Of course your husband's gonna come for you.
Right.
Stupid reverse psychology.
I'm on my own, but I have to keep going.
Oh yeah, my weapons again.
I still can't believe. I mean, I know we said this a couple weeks ago, but I still can't believe we have no news on a new Resident Evil. Like, nothing.
What is this place?
It is a very long dry spell for, I mean, for some franchises, you'd be like, oh, 2 years without a game, what are you crying about? But, like, this is, like, the most annualized, commercialized series, like, that's been so consistent for 20 years. Even after RE6 bombed and almost bankrupted Capcom, they were still making Resident Evil games, like, almost every year.
Right, with the Revelation games and everything.
Yeah, and, like, Umbrella Corps and still, like, god-awful games.
Even, like, the... Yeah. Even, like, the handheld ones. Very interesting.
Mercenary 3D.
Right. They pushed them out so fast. Do you remember the 3DS Resident Evil Revelations? How the box was spelled incorrectly on the spine?
It was... The I was
It was
before the T.
Revelations. Oh no!
They look like Rose. There's some lore that I'm not going to read about how the Rose clones were something that Mother Miranda did as an experiment. I don't remember what the lore is, but it's stupid.
Rose. Yeah, but also it's been, 2022, I think, was Village. Maybe it's 2021.
2021.
Okay, so it's been almost 4 years, and there's no news. You know, I guess, we had Resident Evil 4 remake, that's right. That was 2023. So it's been 2 years, and there's been no news.
Yeah.
So they're going to announce something, and when they announce it, it's going to be at least 6 months afterwards, if not, like, the next year.
Yeah. It's possibly the longest dry spell for Resident Evil ever.
Really rare for companies to be like, hey, we're announcing a game, by the way, it's out next month. That's just... People think that they just announced the Switch 2, and they said, hey, we have more information coming out in April, and people are like, oh, cool, it's coming out in April. It's like, do you really think they're going to have this big thing and be like, I think it's April 2nd. Do you think they're going to be like, all right, here's the price, here's the specs, here's the first couple games, and it comes out in 2 weeks? That's not going to happen.
No.
I would guess, people are saying that they think it's going to be, like, June. I think that's too late in the year. And, I'm sorry.
That's what I said, dude. Do you remember when I guessed when it was going to be either March or June? And when I said that, you're like, I don't know.
I still think that's too late. As in, you can't... people are, like... Kids are getting out of school. People are going on vacation. Summer stuff's going on. People who work outside are back at work. Kids are doing sports. You can't. The only time you can come out with a system is February through April and October through November. That's it. You can't come out in...
Well, in your case, they're going to have to wait until October.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think they're going to wait. This year's way too bleak. Like, what do they even have for the regular Switch?
That I don't know. Because Donkey Kong was like the last...
All right.
Well, I can't even say it's a big one.
So, my official prediction is June. Spencer's official prediction is October, November.
Yeah, if they're going to wait till then, it's going to be November. So my official prediction is November.
I just don't think they could do... Like, people are already super underwhelmed by the Switch 2 reveal, which I can admit is... It was very... clinical and soulless,
well,
the way that they did it. It's very weird.
It reminded me of when they announced new, like, iPhones. You know what I mean?
Even, like, iPhones get more fanfare than the Switch 2. And it's like, the Switch, like, sold, like, 140, 150 million consoles. It's one of the most... The most successful Nintendo console other than the DS. Which, realistically, the Switch is the best performing console, because the DS had a lot of casual, like... buyers that were more interested in it because what do I not want? Get rid of. And I have to get out of this menu. I hate RE8's menu. One thing about RE4 Remake is that the menu is infinitely better in that game. I forget what I was...
I don't know. June, that's tough. I'm telling you, the second that school starts to let out, and a lot of people work outside, and they're like, construction workers and blah blah blah, like, and people go on vacation, and baseball's in full swing and all that stuff. I just don't think you come out with a system in June. I don't.
For them to do it direct in April and then be like, "Hey, wait 6 more months."
I get it.
I don't.
I think it's weird either way. I think if they give people less than a month time, that's ridiculous, because then stores like us have to go to our distributor and be like, "Hey, so what the hell? What's going on here?"
I really don't think a June release would be that hardcore, because if you wait until October, November for the holiday rush, you're going to have stocking issues with, like, in June, maybe it won't have the biggest splash possible, but all the, there's millions and millions of Nintendo diehards that are going to get it day one, and you satisfy those people right away, maybe have, like, more of a soft launch. Like, the Switch was kind of a soft launch, too. I mean, it came out in March.
March is within that. But it's also another thing to keep in mind, and I understand that sometimes people will spend any amount of money for whatever, but February through March and October through November is when people either have money, aka taxes coming back, or they're spending money they don't have, aka getting stuff for the holidays. For whatever reason, during the middle parts of the year, people, even though they always have the opportunity to be like, put it on my card, they don't do that till the holidays.
Yeah, but if they release it early, they get the diehards out of the way, and then they can restock for the holidays for the people that are just going to buy on credit.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
No, I get it.
June is a weird release, but the Switch 2 is just a weird product in general.
I don't want to say that a video game system has never released during the summer. I'm sure something has. But all the ones that I remember are like October, November, March for the Switch. I think the Wii U was October, November as well. Yeah, it was.
So, I had to lure you into this realm so that you might willingly shoot ours.
I'm Mother Miranda.
No, but Kay said, did he? Or did I?
Oh my god!
Very convincing, wouldn't you say?
No way.
Now you can become
I kinda
the
hate
vessel to my
those powers of, like, I can act to be anyone and do whatever, because it's like, it's such a cheap, it's such a cheap shot, you know what I mean? Just being like, hey, everything in your entire life was just me, by the way, lol.
I was looking up a couple.
Entire person.
I was looking up a couple console releases. There's some weird ones if you judge Japanese release dates. Like the PS2 came out in April. The closest one I could find was the Super Nintendo was June in Japan and August in America.
Unfortunately, at that point, you're going so far back that it becomes like a lot tougher. For instance,
I think the strategy of releasing stuff near Christmas has been like a decades old strategy.
Yeah. No, the only reason I say about the Super Nintendo is like during that time period, people weren't so much about, because there weren't so many console generations, people weren't so hard and fast about day one kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just found out through the grapevine, again, with no internet and whatever, where it's like, wait, there's a Super Nintendo? You know what I mean? Like, you would find it out, like a lot of times, games just kind of came out when they came out. A lot of older games don't even have firm and fast release dates. They weren't like, oh, it's June 11th. It was like, it was released in June. Because it just was kind of released when it was, if that makes sense. It's just weird. But yeah, I would take June. I would actually prefer, as a store, it to be released in June. I just don't think it would work for them.
But man, if they do an April Direct and then you have to wait until October, November, that's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be one of the worst Nintendo years. Like,
Yeah, I don't
people
actually
talk about like 2016 being like brutal, but that had like games coming out. They weren't good games, but you still had like Paper Mario and Star Fox Zero, and like they were like releasing games like every other month. This month it's like they have Donkey Kong Country Returns, a $60 Wii port. And it's like, what else? It's like literally nothing.
The only stuff that we're getting in is
they're not doing
remasters of old RPGs.
They're
like
not
Suikoden and
They're
stuff.
not doing like a direct for the Switch anytime soon. So there's like nothing until April. It's like, man.
Would it make up for it if they come out and they say, Switch 2, okay, yeah, it's late October, but here's the deal. Day 1, Mario Kart. Day 1, Zelda. Or Mario, something like that. What if they had 2 killer apps? I assume Mario Kart since they showed it, and then...
Yeah, probably Mario Kart, at least the first year.
It would be a meme, but what about, like,
I definitely
Metroid
know...
Prime, Zelda, two huge AAA titles.
It'd be cool. I don't think it's like a smart idea to release like 2 huge games like that like on the same day. In my opinion. Okay, you have a lot of meme powers now.
And you only get them for literally this battle,
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, but also kinda... The only way it makes sense long term is if the next Resident Evil game you play as Rose and you have these powers.
Like, maybe they planned that in the future, but definitely not anymore. This game flopped.
And even if you were...
Wait, Village flop?
No, the DLC flopped.
The DLC
Like,
flopped,
no
yes.
one cares.
Yeah.
You can save your father. You are of 2 different worlds.
I'm surprised they don't have you do that Zelda thing where you have to hit the power back at her.
Kind of. It's way more awkward.
Hey, do something. Is that faster?
Yes. Definitely for sure.
And she is not very fast at shooting.
Yeah, this is like the base, crappiest shotgun.
Teleports behind you.
But you're incredible.
Might change your mind when I put an end to your plans.
You will fall.
In a weird way, this kind of reminds me of the final boss of FF7 Rebirth. I know there's 2 people you fight with in there, but it kind of reminds me of that, like, big open area. Bad guys usually around the middle. You have to go around it.
No!
I'm sure there's a lot
Oh,
of...
come on. I pressed B
Bosses
a
that are like
million
that.
times.
I cultivated this world within the Megamycete to resurrect your soul. But no matter how many reasons no one had the power to return. That is why it must...
Can you use that special thing as soon as you have all the
only one
orbs filled up, or do you have to specifically get... Okay,
Whatever it
You need
is,
3.
Whatever I must do, I will see this through.
well, that's nice.
Come! Be by my side!
Let's see what's this.
Nope.
She
There
moved.
will be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
I definitely feel like she reads your inputs for that. They don't want you stunning her immediately.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
What is this?
That pea shooter handgun is so unsatisfying, it's unbelievable.
It is
There is
absolute
no
crap.
happy ending.
Even the noise. It's literally like pew pew.
Oh yeah, this attack. I have no idea how to get away from this. Run around. You can't block it. It's not die.
Changes. Your suffering will never end.
Okay. I don't even know what you're
Yeah, what
supposed
do you
to
do?
You just won't give up. You really are. That discovery that shines inside makes you the perfect vessel.
That's the one. Aw.
How do you possess such power?
Well, you see, ma'am, you keep shooting power orbs at me.
Yeah, you keep shooting like the exact thing I need to kill you. Also, for some reason in the Megasmycete mind, guns are very, they work really good.
My struggle comes to fruition.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm guessing you were supposed to get hit.
Yeah, it's super scripted.
Over here!
Over here! Mega Man Legends... Wait, we already did it. That's right. I was gonna say Mega Man Legends 2 LP 1, but we did it like years ago. Rip.
Yep.
We've done a couple games where we did them twice. But that's only because we were unhappy with the first one. Like, we technically did Luigi's Mansion twice.
Yeah, and sometimes we had like excuses, like Eternal Darkness. I did like the true ending.
Oh, yeah,
Even
that's
though the
right.
true ending is like, it's 0.5% different from just a standard playthrough.
Return and yield your strength to me.
That's it. I'm doing Brave Friends of Musashi again.
Do the most boring game ever made, aka Samurai Legend Musashi.
Yeah, I was telling Mitch about that because he saw. I think we had it at the store. He was like, "Oh, what? There's a sequel." I was like, "Yeah." So before you get your hopes up, don't.
It's like a genuine like 3 or 4 out of 10 game. It's
I was like,
so boring.
I was like, "You can buy it. You should. I mean, it's a great part of a collection, but don't play it."
There's a reason that game is like. Every time I see it, I'm like, now it's gonna be $50, and it's every time it's like $25, $30.
Yeah, it's the same thing with that Breath of Fire Dragon's Quarter. Every time I see that, I'm like, this game's gonna be expensive now, and I'm like, what RPG that is uncommon for the PS2 is always $15? And it's like that one.
Now, people hate that game, but I'm gonna simp for that game. That game is great, but the thing is that it's literally the meme where it's a good game, but a bad Breath of Fire game. And this is coming from
That's
someone
fair.
that has played all the Breath of Fires, like 1 through 4. I haven't played 5 or 6 or whatever it's called, because it's a dumb iPhone game. But
What?
Breath of Fire 3 is like one of my favorite RPGs ever made, but Dragon Quarter is almost as good as that game. I know everyone loves 4. I think 4 is great, and it's like the prettiest PS1 game.
What's the last Breath of Fire game?
It's like Breath of Fire 5 for iOS and
Oh my! What's the last actual game that isn't a phone game? 4?
Dragon Quarter,
Oh wow! Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Who made? Is that Square? No.
Capcom.
Wow, that is a series they were just like, yep. And they've never released like a compilation disc thing. Here's 1 through 4 or whatever.
Yeah. Breath of Fire has never sold that well, but
No.
Breath of Fire kind of suffered from like very poor timing. We say it all the time, but there's post FF7 and pre FF7, and Breath of Fire 3 is great, but it came out like 2 months after FF7.
Oh,
It
rip.
just had no chance at all. And then Breath of Fire 4 is good, but that game came out in like PS1 like 2000. And again, people that want to play like Breath of Fire game, I'd probably recommend 4 more than anything, because that game is just like gorgeous. Like Breath of Fire 4 is so good looking. It makes PS2 games look like crap in comparison. It is amazing.
That's why stylized graphics will win always.
Capcom, like at the end of the PS1 era, their aesthetics for that like low poly just peaked. Even like Capcom can never like reproduce it, even during like the PS2 like Saga era.
Should I try Saga Frontier 2 LP?
Saga Frontier 2 is an also good one where it's like a really good aesthetic game, but just awful. I actually tried to play that game like right after I played Saga Frontier Remaster. I was like, I'm gonna play Saga Frontier 2. I'm gonna do it, no matter how bad it is. I'm gonna finish it. I couldn't do it. I didn't even get like a fourth of the way through. I was like, this.
I wonder
game
how
is just
expensive
so
that game is
bad.
nowadays. It has been like years since we've seen it at the
Oh,
store.
talking about another game that's forever $25, Unlimited Saga for PS2.
Yeah. Well,
Every
that game is like top 50 bad games of all time, from
Yeah.
what I understand. That game is like a 1 out of 10 from everything I've ever seen, which is pretty funny.
Do you think the little boy will be able to touch the moon?
But he can touch the moon. He's too far away.
Wait, what if he
Once again, that girl is like 10 years old.
And once again, that girl, that mother looks way too much like Mia. So the first time I saw it, I was like, why is Mia sitting away from Rose with another kid? What's going on?
I'm gonna go to Ferris and be like, do you think that little boy could touch the moon? And it'll be like, what? I'm 11.
Sonic Frontier 2 is $50.
That's so crazy! That game is really uncommon.
I think it's just because people don't like it.
Yeah.
Sonic Frontier 1 nowadays is like $30, but that's because of the remaster.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. I didn't even think about that. This is just how it ended.
Hey, Dad. Happy birthday.
Ethan!
Sorry I missed last week. I have a lot of tests coming up. You know how it is. Goddamn devil.
It's been 4 years, and I want to know who the person standing in the background is.
People have camera hacked this game. It's literally Ethan.
What?
I don't know what it means, but they camera hacked it, and the model is Ethan's model.
Wow.
Day of all days. We have a situation. You're needed. Evelyn.
Don't you ever call me that again.
It's just
I forget, at this point, does she have the powers since she used that thing, or does she literally
She
not?
accepted her powers and like strengthened them while she was in the Megamite seat. At the
So,
very end.
why does this guy, like, go to the
Stand down.
girl with freakish powers and go like, "Oh, you stupid idiot! I'm gonna call you this name you hate.
He's-
Please don't explode my head."
He's just a butthole for no reason.
Like, who does that? Like, I'm gonna go to Superman and be like, "Hey, Clark, you stupid idiot, dummy! I know you could touch me with your finger and explode my entire consciousness, but you idiot." Or you go to like Doctor Strange, who can like bend time and space and be like, "Hey, I'll play like a trick on him or something like that." It's like, no, dude.
Yeah, but this what you were talking about, that guy right there. People have camera hacked this game, and that model right there is Ethan.
Wow.
It's a twist that's probably never going to be elaborated on unless RE9 is some weird game that takes place 20 years after the current.
Because it looks
timeline.
like it stops. It looks like the car stops and then the person walks up to the car.
Yeah.
Huh.
The
Okay.
other unsatisfying thing about the DLC is that that was the ending,
That was the ending of the original.
of the original
Yeah.
game. And you get a little bit of insight about, like, Rose has all these powers, and a little bit more of a bow on the Megamite seat, and Evelyn and Mother Miranda. But it really doesn't do anything.
Right.
It really doesn't expand much. It's just kind of filler. And I think that's why everyone hates this DLC. And I think it's pretty...
Like I said, I
not
played
good
it one time. I was like, oh, that's it? Because it was like, what, $20? I think it was $20 when it first came out. Now, it gave you the third-person mode as well.
Yeah, I think that's why
But-
they gave you, like... they also let you play as, like, Lady D and I think some other characters and mercenaries.
Right.
So I think that's why they, like, threw so many bonuses on you, because they're like, oh, man, Shadows Rose is terrible.
But yeah, I played it once and was like, yep, sounds good. All right, I guess that's it. We got through it. We did
Yay.
less than 2 hours. I mean, for a playthrough where you don't know what's going on, maybe like
My
3 hours.
potential.
But yeah, not a great DLC. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of Village. Hopefully, we'll be talking about another Resident Evil game in the near future. But are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've never even played this. Can I just play as Mother Miranda? No, she's locked.
Wow.
Or who did I say? Lady D. I want
Lady
to play as
D,
Lady
yeah.
D.
Rip. I guess you still have to do stuff.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well.
Alright.
Alright, guys. We'll see you next time, and we'll be back with more horror games, and
Well,
bye.